Hi, I'm Lily Gray, and this is my capstone. So how I chose my capstone was during the spring semester of my junior year. Mr. Blackwell had a meeting with all the juniors to discuss what our topic should be for our capstone. And I remember that he said that a capstone should be something that you already do, not something that you add to your schedule. And so I immediately thought of Awana, which is a program that I got involved with during my sophomore year of high school. I was asked to help one night a lady named Shayna Boring in the Awana department because her husband couldn't be there to help with one of the classes. And so I thought I'd just be down there for one night and just help her one time until at the end of the night, a couple of kids asked her if I would be there next week. And of course, she said yes without asking me if I wanted to. And so I ended up staying, but I didn't know that that night was also her and her husband's last night running the program. And so that left me by myself with all these kids. And so my dad actually helped me get a couple of adults to help run it, but I was given the leader position without even asking. And so I've been the leader of Awana ever since. So after I got my capstone approved that following summer, I picked my mentor, Kelly Cunningham. I picked Kelly because she has previous experience working with children in a Mom's Day Out program that we have at our church. And I've also known her for a really long time, and I was very comfortable with her, and so I knew that she'd be the best to help me run the program. And so over the summer and the school year, we met multiple times to discuss our class events, and we did theme nights, and we discussed those, and we also got new workers, and we changed the schedule of Awana and separated classrooms to help best fit the learning experience for the kids. We also planned out offering challenges and shoebox challenges for Operation Christmas Child for the kids. It was a way to make Awana fun so they could compete with each other and have things that would happen to the teachers if one team lost to motivate them to participate. So the picture in the middle is actually the aftermath of our first offering challenge. My mentor, Kelly Cunningham, she obviously lost because she got a pie in the face, but the challenge was that the kids had to raise money for Hurricane Harvey relief, and they raised about $55 in change over about the course of 2 months. And my class brought in the most money, so I didn't have to get pie in the face, but she did, so her class lost. And so that was just something fun for the kids to enjoy and have to experience one night. So now that I've told you who my mentor is, I want to explain to you what Awana is. So Awana actually stands for Approved Workmen Are Not Ashamed, and it goes along with their theme verse, which is 2 Timothy 2:15, which says, "Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly handles the word of truth." And that's actually one of the first Bible verses that the kids learn in the TNT class. And so Awana is for kids all the way from 3 years old through 5th grade, and it consists of 3 different classes, which are Cubbies, Sparks, and TNT. And it is meant to teach them scripture and help them to memorize them and get a foundation of the Bible and biblical stories. They also have handbooks that go along with it, and they also earn money for each time they say a verse. They earn $1, and then if they're the top TNT, which means that they've said the most verses and have the most points through the night out of all the kids, they get $5 for participating the most. And they use those at the end of the year at an Awana store just to buy fun things to help reward them for their work throughout the year. So our youngest class is Cubbies, which is for kids 3 years old through pre-K. And it's a storybook style learning that follows the life of Cubby Bear. He's up in the corner, and his friend Timothy and his family on a farm. And so it's really interactive for the kids with the parents because the kids obviously can't read at all. And so it's for the parents to sit down with them and to read them stories and to teach them Bible verses at home and then come to church and do crafts with the stories. And they also have to memorize the verse at home as Cubbies because their parents have to sign it and they also have to say it for their teacher at church. And so it helps them to really implement it into their brain because they're so little. And so that's what the Cubbies do each night. And then we have our next class, which is Sparks, and it's for kindergarten through 2nd grade, and it follows the life of Sparky the Firefly and his friends Chloe, Jacob, and Joel as they travel. Sparky travels around the world and does great adventures for all the kids, and he comes back and tells them all about it, and they ask him what he struggled with and what he learned through his journey, and they use biblical stories to help explain life lessons. And they also have activities like coloring and answering questions, and they also memorize scripture. They each have a pamphlet before, so when they get there at the beginning of the year, they have a Flight 316 pamphlet, which is based on John 3:16, which is what they get before they get their handbook. So it's trying to give them a good foundation of the gospel before they get their books. And each grade has a different book because they all are at 3 different reading levels. And so kindergarten has Hang Glider, and then first grade has Skystormer, and second grade has Wing Runner. And it's based on reading level. And they also have CD listenings in the back of their books. So that way, if they still can't read or they need their parents to help them, they can listen to the stories at home or in the car, and also use that to memorize their scripture. Our last class is actually the class that I personally teach, is the TNT class, which is for 3rd grade through 5th grade. And TNT actually stands for Truth and Training, which is perfectly describes their handbook and what the class is based on. So the class actually starts in a start zone, which is a bunch of questions, mainly questions and 2 scripture verses that they have to get through before they get their book, which is Grace in Action. And it's a lot thicker than all the other books, and it contains a lot of challenging questions, which is the training part of the class. So the truth part is the scripture that they memorize and the stories that they read. But the training part is where it all comes into play, because it brings everything together to help them answer questions. So you can see this is a little boy named Sam. He's sitting trying to answer the questions in his book with a scripture passage that the book gave him. And so it teaches them to get into the Word and to really look and try to understand it. And a lot of the questions that I've looked at, they're really hard. And so it makes them think about it at a young age, so that way they can go home and ask questions to their parents. They can ask the workers, or they can ask our pastors at church. And so it helps them to get that next step forward and to answer those questions before they get into middle school the next couple of years, and they're challenged even more, and so that they'll know what they believe. They also get awards. There are the stripes on the shirts. That's their awards for each section that they complete. The book is color-coded, and so each section that they complete, they get we call them wings. So they get a color-coded wings, which is to award them for completing a section. Like I talked about earlier, I created a thing called theme nights. Each month we have a different theme for all the kids, and it was something that I decided to do after being in Awana a year. I thought that it would be something that the kids would enjoy to do. It's something different every month. So actually last week we had a March Madness night because of basketball. So they came in basketball jerseys and cheerleader outfits, and for Halloween we did costumes, and we're getting ready to do a water night later in the year. And so it's something fun that the kids get to do and not just have a normal night like any other night. Now that I've told you all about Awana, I'd like to talk about the impact that Awana has had on my life. Before I was even a worker in Awana had already drastically changed my life. As a child, I was a part of the Awana program, and I was saved through the program. So it's great to be able to be a worker now and to be that person that can help them take that next step, or to be the person to implement that question in their life, or to get them that one next step forward to becoming a Christian or in their walk with Christ, because those were the kind of people that I had in my life that got me to that point. And now as a worker, Awana has changed my life like I couldn't believe. Growing up, I didn't have the best youth group experience because I didn't connect with a lot of the students in my youth program because I don't go to school with any of them. And so I had planned to change churches once I turned 16 that I could drive. I wanted to go out on my own and have my own youth experience on my own. But little did I know that God had a different plan for me, because when I turned 15, I got involved in the Awana program. And once I got involved there and was there for a year, there was no way that I could leave. This is the thing I look forward to every week. I look forward to coming to church on Wednesdays and to seeing these kids' smiling faces. And they've changed my life for the better. They've shown me a different community that I can be a part of, and that I can help implement Scripture and God into their lives and be a role model for them. So where I go from here is that in the fall, I plan to attend Carson Newman University to study music. And then after college, I plan to attend seminary to study children's ministry. Through Awana, God has showed me that I have a heart for children and that I desire to minister to children. And so whether that be in a church or through music or somewhere around the world. That's something that I don't know yet, but God will hopefully show me. But I definitely have a heart for kids, and that's where I need to be. Thank you, and that's my capstone.